I was brought up to believe that law is run by the fool and corrupt politics that govern for their own advantages. And I hate it. Who knows? Turns out I ended up studying law for my degree. And after all these years of studying, I realized it is not the system that is wrong. It's the people that create and manipulate. So ladies and gentlemen, what do you think we should do to fix this? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My best regards to all the other judges and all of the audiences. Wishing all us continue to be blessed with grace and guidance. My name is Amilia. I was on my 10th grade when a bunch of my friends told me the dirty side of the government. They create the law as their tool to manipulate people and country for their own advantages. They say. At that age, I didn't even wonder where my friends got information from. I just absorbed information and grew up with that mindset that law and government is bad. And I don't have any kind of interest in law, politics, and government because of that kind of stories. All until when I graduated high school and I was faced with only two choices, studying law or accounting. And I hate mathematics, so I just law instead. If we talk about law, there's one common description. Law is a set of rules that regulate human conduct or behavior. But after all these years that I spent learning about law, turns out it is so much more than that. Law is the implementation of our national character and value. It is a guidance to everyday life, to basic things, to trade and purchasing things, to even politics. So basically, it is a good thing. The problem is to young teenagers like the one I used to be that completely believing a single story and information that could leave a significant impact, even to the foundation of this country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, imagine if thousands of high school students are still skeptical about law. No one, literally no one, will look after the good side of the law. As to the second encounter, I was on my third semester when there was a new regulation. And I remember there were ocean of students rallying and doing a demonstration against it. And actually, that is not a bad thing for people to expressing their opinion and constructive critics to the government. In fact, that is good for the development of our country. But I noticed some of the students, my friends were included, they don't know the reason why they joined the demonstration. They don't know the rules of the regulation to performing a demonstration. And even worse, they're demanding and performing things that are totally out of context. Now, that was a complete chaos. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why do you think this has happened? I'll tell you why. It probably because the bad government stereotype that grew in society. That situation surely create a gap and misbelieving between government and our law system that actually leads to rebel kind of action. People don't believe in government, so they don't want to follow the rules. This situation surely can threaten national resilience internally. Nothing is harmful and dangerous than spreading misinformation, especially in this digital era and most blatantly to the young digital generation. The two examples that I just mentioned before happened way before all of this social media and misinformation are spreading fastest like now. And even there, to imagine to face the 2045 if we are not to tackle these issues. Who will be believing in the teachers and parents' wisdom if the misinformation can easily be got from social media such as Facebook or TikTok? That is why education played a huge role in building young generation character and knowledge. I actually have an idea, which is about basic law education. Actually, a lot of another countries have applied this kind of basic education, such as Singapore and South Korea. What is it? It is an education system that develop young generation character and knowledge based on the value of our nation. And it is also to broaden young generation knowledge about basic law principle and regulation. And it should be in every student's curriculum, especially from high school. Why? Firstly, young generation will be our successor in the future. That means in 20 years from now, they're going to hold at important positions, whether it's in government, in politics, and companies, and many other kind of professions. We don't want any bad history to happen again, right? We don't want any immoral, ignorance, and greedy side to appear again and manipulate our system. So we need education as a way to create an individual with integrity and culture. And to do that, we have to pass them a compass, a filter that enabling them to selecting the right narrative to believe. Secondly, as what I mentioned before, basic law concept is always present in our day-to-day life as a social being. The problem is a lot of young generation have a lack of knowledge in basic law, even though our country is a state of law. Therefore, we can overcome this problem through basic law education. And also, this is a democracy country. Everyone has the right to criticize the law, but it will be so much better if we can understand the substantial part first, so that we can create a constructive and helpful critics that actually doesn't create a bad stereotype. The point is, I don't want to try to blame or defend one side. Every side have a good part and a bad part, but we need education as a way to prevent and reduce the impact on the bad side. Through basic education, we can unite the views, the ideology, the knowledge of the younger generation as our successor, so that they will have much more similar understanding, perception, and attitudes toward the implementation of the law, in order to create unity and integration in achieving our nation's goal, Golden Indonesia 2045. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to face the 2045, we need a democratic society. The society that will always correctly judge the situation. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.